Thank you, sir. Yeah. So yeah, as we're saying, as we're gonna start up with this IMDG, I'll just have a recap of the last week as well. And just like a spoker, are you okay for me to call you a reciprocal? Because even me, I'm afraid of that.
Yeah. All good, sir. All good, sir. All good, sir.
That's good. So you've started kind of with in line with the definition as well. But what I would have just wanted to say is, yeah, dangerous goods are substances. You can note that down, and articles, yeah, that are being termed by the International Maritime Organization to conform within the IMDG code. So the IMO have been able to classify this good, let's say it's a flammable liquid, let's say something like this, then the IMO has been able to say, oh, these actually conform with this whole IMDG code, and then this therefore should be called a DG. So what a DG is, my own definition is just simple. It's just there are substances and articles that conform to the criteria contained within the IMDG code. Substances and articles that conform to the criteria contained within the IMDG code. So when we asked last week, someone was saying any substance that are dangerous. If you personally feel they are dangerous but do not conform to the IMDG code, you cannot class them as a DG. So that's where the old stuff. So who now classifies these people? These goods as dangerous goods is, of course, is the IMO code. And the reasoning for the IMDG code itself is to ensure the safe transportation. The safe transportation is to regulate and ensure the safe transportation of dangerous goods in order to prevent harm, of course, to personnel, to marine environment, and to the marine properties as well. So all these dangerous goods that has been listed on under the IMO and has been listed and they conform to the criteria of the IMDG code, they have to still be transported. It's not like we can stop the transportation. I remember some funny incidents when I was second officer, 2012, 2013, and we have a client. I think it was ExxonMobil we are working with, and they normally bring in radioactive materials. So then you have the AB, but I won't blame them. It's just out of ignorance. They keep shouting, because they will be the one on deck. And the way the platform supply vessels work and how our vessels work, for some of us in the offshore, we understand it. You'll be on deck while you try and adjust the cargo, or try and even speak to the or maneuver with the crane operator in putting the cargo in the right corner on the right place on the deck as per your loading plan. But where I'm going to is you have cases where, oh, Capt, this is a radioactive. We don't want to receive any radioactive because we know it's dangerous to us, it's dangerous to our health. So yeah, they are right in one sense, but they've not just been able to fully comprehend the knowledge that comes with the IMDG code in mapping out radioactive goods. So the IMDG code has mapped out, okay, this is radioactive, but that doesn't mean you should not transport it, because goods and services still need to go. Like last week, I was giving an example of perfumes and body spray. Yeah, most of them are dangerous goods. But the reason why we are able to do this is what we call because limited and accepted quantity. And that's why you will see small quantity of your small quantity of body spray and whatnot, which we'll go into later on as well. But coming back again to the class, for the safe transportation of dangerous goods, that's why we had the IMDG code. Do you get that? So now, let me go back again now to the slide of last week so that we can kickstart. I'm just going to move a little bit up. So yeah, like I was saying, it's the IMDG code itself that has been put out is to want to enhance the safe operation of dangerous goods. And it's to two, is to protect the marine environment. Because sometimes when you have dangerous good incidents, that means dangerous goods that are slipping out to the sea. What can we do? But you can only be able to do this by doing what? By looking at your IMDG code for every single of this cargo. Then, like I said, just like the example I gave, um, some people will really now know, oh, this is dangerous. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't transport it. It doesn't mean that goods will not go on. It's just most of all these dangerous goods itself, like petrol. Petrol is really essential. Diesel, but they are dangerous goods. But it doesn't mean that you should not transport them. But how can we not transport them? And that is when the IMDG code came about. So when we're talking about the objective of IMDG code, like I said last week, is to enhance safe transportation, protect the marine environment, and facilitate the free, unrestricted movement in a regulated manner. I'll put it as well. And reciprocal, it's the IMO. And so the IMO is under the United Nations, and they are specialized agencies that look into registration in the maritime industry as well. They, of course, as you know, both as you know, the solars and the MAPO. So them themselves about being able to bring out the IMDG code, and every article or substance that are able to conform with the IMDG criteria is termed a dangerous good. So reciprocal, I always remember that, please, as well. And I'm just going to try and jump, but I will not jump this one itself. The IMGG code, like I said, I'm just trying to recap, and guys that are not here last week. The IMGG code has, no, I'm going to pause here, and someone will tell me how many volumes. How many volumes of IMGG code do we have? Anyone?
Good evening, sir.
Hey, November, good evening. How are you doing?
Fine, sir. It has 2 volumes and 1 supplement.
So someone was there last week. That's the perfect answer. 2 volumes and 1 supplement. 2 volumes and 1 supplement, please, because there has been so much confusion of people saying it's 3 volumes, and someone actually failed because of that, and then came back and there was so much argument. But no, it's not volume 3. So we have volume 1, which we will talk about. And that the volume 1 majorly deals with, like I said last week, majorly deals with the general provisions, the classifications. That's where you are able to see would this dangerous good is classified under which class of dangerous good. Then we have the volume 2, and the volume 2 is majorly the dangerous good list. So every single dangerous goods that has been listed out, just like I was saying, that has been brought out by IMO as segregated to dangerous good, you will find them in the IMGG code. If they are not there and they don't have any criteria that conform with the IMGG code, they cannot be dangerous goods at all. So if they are dangerous to your skin, to your health, sorry, that's your own personal opinion. But dealing with the legislation for the IMDG, no, they have to be there. So, and then the third one is the supplement. So what's the supplement? The supplement majorly is just the EMS guide. And it is the EMS, response for, advice in dealing with fire. Like I said, petrol and diesel, they are dangerous goods. In dealing with chemical, in dealing with spillage, medical first aid in case it splashes into your eye, your skin, inhalation, injection, absorption into the skin as well. And then also it brings about, I'm talking about the supplements, it brings about the reporting procedure. Who do you report to? How do you report? That's what this supplement is about. So majorly volume 1, it's everything. Volume 2 is our DG list, every single list we have. So those books are the most important one in the IMDG code. Now moving on to the most interesting part of the IMDG, and like I said, I'm still just doing a recap of last week, but I just want us to get it, is classes of dangerous goods. Can someone tell me how many classes of dangerous goods do we have? Anyone? Lima November reciprocal. 9 classes. Thank you. We have 9 classes of dangerous goods, and like I was putting, some are also subdivided as well. We have the class 1, which is the explosive. And I give some examples that last week. I don't want to go in depth into them. And then 2, we have the gases, and 3, inflammable liquids. The 4.1 and 4.2 are inflammable solids, and of course the 4.3 as well is inflammable solids too. 5 are oxidizing agents. 6 are pernicious toxic substances. Class 6.2 infectious substances. Class 7 is the one, the offshore industry we mostly deal with sometimes, which is the radioactive substances as well. Then the corrosive and the miscellaneous. And the reason why they've been able to put all this there is just, if you just look at this scope and you imagine that this is a dangerous good, being able to put it under one class will enable you to start preempting your actions or what precautions should be put in place as well. So if this is, for instance, if this is a radioactive substances and it has not been well packaged in order to minimize the impact or the severity of the damage that it will cause, and it's just exposed like that, I will be running a risk of danger of putting my life at risk by just holding it like this as well. If this, and that's if it is a class 7. So now let's imagine this is corrosive in any way, then I should be able to know it must be properly sealed, because it touches me in any way, I'm gone. My skin will go. So these are the reasons why we've been able to put it down in classifications as well. And for instance, for petrol, we know we are carrying petrol, we know we are carrying anything under that, then you should be afraid of, putting it close to a fire. You should be afraid of, igniting system, because these are low flashing points that we have, and it might cause explosion and all of that. Now, when we're able to deal with all these classes, we now talk about 1, the marking. We talk about 2, the separation. For instance, like I'll still come back to radioactive substances. If you see the radioactive substances, especially on container vessels or supply vessels, you really see that there is a special mark that they put somewhere, which is called the DG zone. Even on rural vessels that I deal with as well, we have, of course, a DG area where you keep those DG site. They mark that place IMDG, depending on whatever your bosun wants to mark it. But you'll find out another thing, that the radioactive will be kept separately away from the accommodation, the vessel's accommodation, far away from the vessel's accommodation. Why? Because you cannot keep radioactive materials close to living quarters of a place. So this is why this class is coming in terms of the storage as well. Then, of course, now talking about storage, if you go down to the IMDG code, which I said we're going to be opening, and we'll be looking at it. You carry a goods, it's going to tell you, no, do not put it close to this, do not put it close to this, do not put it close to this. That's because if there is interference, or if there's mixture of both of them, or if there's exposure of both of them, it's going to cause an explosion, to cause a disaster. And that's why we are all putting the IMDG code in place in order to bring about the storage, the segregation, the marking, the EMS, the documentation, the packing, how it's going to be packed, how it's going to be transported. So, and then in case of spillage, in case of fire, and in case of any other one. I think there's a note I found on internet, and I'm just going to put it to the group in case for people who are preparing for orals, they will need to have that note itself. Now, coming back to my slide, I was planning on speaking about also the IMDG code, that it's updated every 2 years, and I said that last week. It's updated every 2 years, and someone said, "Oh, what are the changes that are there. Every single changes that's in case there is any new new substance that has been found, or there's any new way of being able to mitigate or eradicate any hazard that might come with carrying dangerous goods. You'll see it is going to be updated in the IMDG code. As someone else asked me last week that, oh, what if there is no changes at all? If there is no changes, there will be one change that you will see, which is the front of the IMDG code, and it will show you the volume, the updated volume. So I've seen MCS surveyor when they come on board my vessel, they go to the IMDG code and they look at, do you carry the latest IMDG code itself? So I would really like us to go and check on board our vessels as well if we are really carrying the latest IMDG code. So yeah, IMDG code is updated every two years too. Sorry, I'm just gonna quickly jump so that I can start discussing some other stuff today too as well. Now, the most important one for this whole IMDG is two factors. Which one is the PSN? And then the PSN is what we call the proper shipping name. Every DG must have a proper shipping name. Apart from a proper shipping name, it also will have a UN number. And that UN number is always 4 digits. Now, I was doing an advanced DG course and I failed the first exam. But this is not for my license. This is for me to be a DG specialist in UK. And I failed the first exam because they asked me for the UN number for methanol, and I just gave them the 4-digit number. But no, that was wrong. But what they wanted was you're gonna have to start it with UN blah blah blah. So for example, kerosene in the IMDG code, the UN number when you're giving it out, when you're writing it out, when you're saying it out, or when you're explaining to somebody, should be UN 1223. I think I had a slide there where, yeah. So looking at this DG declaration as well, you see where they have the proper shipping name and the qualities of the cargo, which is the UN number. We're not just supposed to write, we know it's 1223, but please, if you're answering any question or if you're speaking to anybody, the UN number should always start with UN 1223. For some reasons, I just didn't understand why it was that important. But later on, I really began to really understand that it's not just the number, it's actually the UN symbol that follows it and qualifies it to be a UN number. So yeah, so these two features. And another question that I asked is, okay, what if I just know the PSN number and I don't need the UN number? But that's another bigger one, because when I go into the DG list, which will just be the class will just be DG list. I'm just going to start on DG list and we end on the DG list because it's quite a lot. But you will see that there are names that are so similar. You see that there are names that can be misspelled. So if you have a name that is similar, or you have a name that is misspelled, we do not want a scenario. And of course, we have so many DGs. So we do not want a case where we have, like for instance, we have methanol and methanol. But this is not a practical example. But I'll go into a practical example and in the DG list that you see. But you will see that there are so many spellings that are just so similar, and the only difference might just be the O or the E. And the only thing that can be able to now comprehend that or help that or support that is for you to also cross-check with the UN number. And that's why it's very, very important when you are making a identification of a dangerous good to have both the PSN, which is the proper shipping name, and the UN number itself. And where are we going to, which volume of the book are we going to find this? Anyone help me? So they give you a proper shipping name and they give you a UN number. Which of the book are we going to see? Is it volume 1, is it volume 2, or is it the supplement?
I guess that's the volume 2.
What?
Volume 2.
Volume 2. Yeah, thank you.
Volume
You're
2.
going to be seeing it in the volume. You're going to be seeing it in the volume 2 itself. But that's one. Then inside this volume 2 now, you start seeing, I'm just going to try and see if I can bring out. Yeah, just a second. Just a second. Yeah, can everybody see my screen? I know it might be a bit. I'm just going to try and zoom out and come back in and come back. Yeah, let's deal with this first. So yeah, this is a crop out of the IMDG code volume 2. It's a can anybody cite the first, the first two? What's the PSN? Reciprocal.
Oh, so I'm with you.
No, can you see UN number 005?
Yes, I can see 005.
Can you read me the proper shipping name, please?
Name and description. Cartridge for weapons with busting. Was it with busting charges also?
Thank you. What of 0006?
006. Cartridge for weapons with busting charges. Same thing.
But they have a different UN number.
Yes, different UN number.
So you see, try and what, they are not actually really the same product itself. Because when you go down the line and you see special provisions, you will see several things several provisions that you put. Packing instructions, there are different similarities as well. So why am I saying this? To try and let you know that in any DG declaration or DG DG declaration, or you're giving a DG list to anyone, or you're trying to give a DG description, the UN number alone is not enough. The PSN is not enough, but both of them have got to come in together. So, Lima November, can you help me? After that, we are still on 005. What class of DG is this? Reciprocal.
Sorry, please, can you repeat your question?
Yeah, what UN number 005, what class of DG is that?
It's class 1.
Which is
Explosives.
explosive. Thank you. So when you know this is explosive, thank you very much. When you know this is explosive, you should now know what to be expected. You start having a mindset of what to be expected, how you should be able to deal with this kind of cargo or stuff like that. Now, moving in, you will see that after that class, there is what I'd say there are subsidiary risks. Now, I'm going to go and break that down. For instance, if you have just a DG, like I said, this can be an explosive. Then also this might carry, it can also be toxic. Are you following me? So now, which one of them is much more dangerous, and which one of them is much more obvious or more porous, if I want to use that word, is the first one that they'll put as a class. So for instance, now this stuff I'm holding is much more explosive than for it to be toxic. So what you have them do now is have its class. A class of this will be explosive. However, you will have subsidiary risks. Are you following me? So now if you come down again to another DG list, let's look at another one that has Can anybody look at 1053? I'm just trying to see if I can. Yeah, 1053 reciprocal.
Yeah, 1053. That's it. 105.
Is the last one.
The last thing I'm saying is 1052 is the last thing I'm saying.
Oh, 1052. Sorry, wait down. Can you see it now?
1053, yes, hydrogen sulfide.
Yeah, hydrogen sulfide. So what's the class? Sorry, I had to change the front so that I'll see if we can see both the class and the distance together. Can you see it now? Or it's too small?
I can still see it. I'm using
Oh,
east,
okay.
so I can still see it.
Okay, so what's the class?
Class or division? 2.3.
No, the class itself.
Okay, the class of the dangerous group.
Yeah.
I don't know much about hydrogen stuff.
No, yeah, what's 2.3? What's 2?
2.3.
What's class 2? Let's go again. Let's go and try and identify. Is it on the notes here? Okay, help me. What's 2? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I'm saying the screen. Class 2 gases.
Gases, thank you. So we're coming back here. I think I have another one here that breaks which of the gases it is for me. But anyway, we'll come back to that. Yeah, so we're looking at gases 1053, correct?
Yeah, 1053.
And then it still have subsidiary risks of 2.1 itself. I'm going to try and see. Let's look at another example. 1048. What's the class? One zero four eight.
104. Hydrogen bromide.
Yeah.
Okay, the subsidiary risks.
Now what's what? It's 8. What's class 8?
Yes. Class
8 is.
Class 8 is corrosive.
Thank you. Corrosive substances. Yeah, that's correct. Corrosive substances. So why do you think now, from my explanation, why do you think we have 2 classes on one substance?
Having 2 classes. That means that particular substance now has characteristics of should I say possesses the characteristics of 2 different classes that have 2 potential harm also.
Okay, that's good. Now, why do we have 2.1 on class and then 8 on subsidiary? Sorry, 2.3.
8 on subsidiary. I don't know. Should I say, because having 8 on subsidiary, that makes me feel the second part of it is more dangerous than the first part of it. But from your explanation, you said the one that should be taken first is the one that has the high danger. Or so.
Yeah, that's correct. The one that it's more dangerous one, and then it presents itself more. We can use the word that presents more hazard will be taken as the main class. And then the other one, well, it doesn't mean that we're not going to also follow up with the other one as well. But the other one itself will be a subsidiary, but we must still follow it. Do you understand what I mean?
I
So
get you,
yes,
sir.
so yeah, that's correct. Let's pick another one. Lima November, help me. 1045. 1045. Lima November, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, help me. 1045. Give me the proper shipping here and its characteristics. Under what are we classifying it to be?
The proper shipping name.
Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yes, that's fluorine 1045.
Yeah,
Fluorine compressed.
fully compressed. Thank you. So what would be the class?
That's class 2
Which is,
gases.
thank you. So what again can you tell me about 1045?
For the
So we are looking at, so the way we normally look at it, we start from the UN number, proper shipping name. Now you have look at the class. The next one now will be subsidiary risks. And like I said, the subsidiary risks are also termed in classes, and they hold lesser hazard, but they are still hazard than the main class itself. So we were able to agree that 2 is gases. So what of the subsidiary risks now? What are you seeing there?
that's 5.1.
That was 5.1. So what's 5?
5.1.
We can stick to 5 for now. I don't want to get so corrosive. But so what's 5 from the screen?
That's oxidizing substances.
Oxidizing substances. Thank you. So is that the only thing you can see in subsidiary? Is there any other subsidiary risks?
Subsidiary risk. I was thinking that 1.18, 1.8, 5.18.
Oh yeah, that should be 5.18. Do we have any class like 5.18?
I was thinking if it is, no, it's not up to 5.5. That 5 is just like maybe division.
Okay, break it down for us. Let's understand. Division out.
Like 5, we have different division under the class 5.
How many? So what division? How many division do we have?
Two divisions. 2. I'm not too sure, but I think it's 2 divisions.
It's 5.1 and 5.2.
Yes. Okay.
So that's 5.1 is what is the division that we found here, correct?
Yes, 5.1.
So do we have any other risks still there again?
The 8 is the 8. Okay, the 8 is a number on its own, not 5.18.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is really interesting that we're dealing with it here, because it causes that kind of confusion as well. So,
Okay.
so are you following? So now, can you tell us what's the 8?
That's class 8. And class 8 is corrosives.
Thank you. So can you see my screen here I'm trying to break it down. I didn't want to go there to just confuse, but I think it's better we just go there. Can you see my screen here? Can you see what's the top one? Class 5.1 as well.
5.1 is oxidizing substances.
5.2 as well.
Organic peroxides.
Organic peroxide. So it stops there. Are you following me? It stops there as well. And if you see, if it's just let's say for instance, if it's class 7, are you following me? And class 8 as well, or let's say class 7 and class 2 or 3. It's not, you will not time it as class 7.3. Are you following me? You will see them. So what I'm just trying to say, if it's class 1 and it also has class 2, what you will see there is class 1 will be, 1 will be on top. Where is it? Yeah, 1 will be on top and then 2 will be under. As long as you do not see something like as long as you see if this is something like 1.2, don't take it like class 1 and class 2. Are you following me? So like 5.1 and 5.2 now, even though these rigs will be 5 and 2, what you will see, if it's 2 different classes, it's going to be 5 on top and then 2 beneath. But if it's going to be 5.1 or 5.2, you will see it's clearly put there 5.1 and then 8 beneath as well. So in summary, for what I'm trying to explain, this has are kind of 3 classes, and the main class is the gases itself. Then it goes down to oxidizing agent, which I was talking about, like fertilizers and all those things, and then corrosive agents. Those ones, they're really very harmful, to the body. Is that well understood? Reciprocal, do you have any question on that? Okay. I'm just trying to look for another one that has. Just 1 second, please. Okay. Lima November. Let's go again. 218. No, 2189. Can you start? Just tell me about it, starting from the UN number.
Hello, sir. Can you please repeat?
Yeah, I'm looking at one number, 2189. Can you? Sorry. Yeah. So it's here. Can you tell me about it? Starting from the UN number.
The UN number is UN 2189.
Yeah, I was trying to trick you there. I'm trying to see where you're going to put the UN from. But yeah, that's very well. Please, guys, let's stick to putting that UN number before we mention any UN. Before mentioning actually the 4-digit number. So thanks, November. So yeah, so let's go again. What's the next one?
The proper shipping name.
Okay.
Dichlorosilane.
That's good. The class.
The class is class 2, division 2.3.
Is class or division?
Okay.
As well. So like the class is 2, and then division is the 0.3 as well. So the 2.3 will. I don't have it here now. But yeah, it's going to be gases, and then it comes down to what type of gases do we have. So yeah, let's continue.
Yeah, the 2.3 is toxic and poison gas.
Yeah, thank you.
Then it's the subsidiary risk. It's you said 2.1, which is 2.1. That's flammable gas.
Thank you.
Then the other subsidiary risk is 8.
Thank you. Which is
It is
Koro.
corrosive. Yes.
Corrosive.
Corrosive.
Thank
Yes.
you. Yeah, so yeah, this is really interesting. This is really interesting. So we can just look at what you're giving, look at the UN number, look at the name and the description. Then please and please the class, division, the subsidiary risks. It can have two. I've not seen three, but it's possible. Might have two subsidiaries, might have three subsidiaries, and yeah, from that we should know that there's one that is the main, and then we have two others as well, having the other subsidiary rigs. So let's move on to that. I'm sure that everybody is okay with that. So last but not the least that will stop in today's class is the group, is the parking group itself. So we have three parking groups. And like I was saying, the parking groups are, if I want to put it, I'll put it the way they are. Most you can see it is not all, but some DG goods they are assigned to a parking group. And this parking group is to indicate the degree of danger that they will present within that class. So parking groups, they are divided into three as per the IMDG code, and it will indicate the degree of danger that they present in that class. And then in this parking group, the IMDG code, once it tells you parking group 1, parking group 2, parking group 3, this parking group will relate to guidelines for the safe and appropriate parking itself. So now I came back to say that it indicates the degree of danger or the severity of the danger that they present. Parking group 1 has the highest danger. That one is boom. Parking group 2 has medium danger. And medium danger are like petrol. Yeah, even though as petrol is so dangerous, there are still substances or articles that are more dangerous than petrol. And those ones, you find them in parking group 1. So anything parking group 1 that you see on the DG list, please and please don't play with it. If parking group 2 can be petrol, which is that dangerous, then you can imagine what parking group 1 will entail. Then parking group 3 is low danger. So like I said, I have 3 parking group. 1, high danger. 2, medium danger, petrol. And guess what? Low danger is diesel. Examples of low danger, diesel itself. Now let's come back again to the board. Like I said, that's where we'll stop tonight. But I would like us to stop with understanding of what this parking group is, and then we'll move on to the next one. So reciprocal, let's go down to 2211. If you are there.
Oh, 2211.
2211. So start from the beginning. Tell me about it.
Okay, that's a UN 2211.
UN 22, thank you. Like I'm so happy to be hearing this as well. But the UN should be very, very important. It should come when you're answering a question, when you're answering an examiner or anyone. Put that UN number. When you're writing it, also please put that UN 2211. Yeah, very good. Okay. What's the next one?
That's a PSN.
Which is
polymeric beads.
No. What is PSN?
Wow.
So you see, it's really very important. Let's not cram it. Let's remember, please, that is proper shipping name. It's proper shipping. It's not just a shipping name. Because why did I say proper shipping name? Petrol. You can call petrol fuel. You can call petrol motor spirits. You can call petrol petrol itself. If you go back to Niger side, petrol na fuel. You see, but what is the proper shipping name? If you come down to Singapore, they have other thing that they will call it itself. But what's the proper shipping name that has been recognized so that we'll not mix it up? So that's why we have PSN. And that PSN is very, very important for us to mention it. I would not even like us to be mentioning PSN. We have to mention it as proper shipping name so that we don't forget. So let's start quickly. Let's start again. We got 4 minutes. So
okay, UN 2211. Then
UN
the proper
2211.
shipping name. Yeah,
Just mention the
polymeric
first 2 words.
phase expendable. Then class
Yeah.
9. That's miscellaneous.
Huh? Miscellaneous.
That's
Yeah,
class
thank
9
you. So
miscellaneous.
miscellaneous are substances that they don't have any definite hazard. As well. They don't have definite hazard. I'll go into that later on. But now, any subsidiary risks,
No subsidiary risks here.
okay. And then wait, I'm trying to make sure that we are seeing the heading as we are talking about it. But it's not looking like it's possible. What's the UN number we're dealing with just now?
The UN number 2211 is the UN number we're dealing with right now.
Oh, okay. We can use the beneath one so that we can be checking it. Okay, so yeah, you have
right.
given me the, what do they call this? What's the subsidiary risks? None. Packing group.
None. Then the packaging group is group 3.
Hmm?
Think of UN packing group is group 3.
See, there is packaging, which we will discuss later. The terminology we are using here should be very, very sensitive. It's packing group, Joe. Are you getting me? If you look down the line, now let's come down. Look at the title of the below page. Yeah, someone gave me an idea that you can write something here. So I didn't know. Okay, so let's come down here. What's this? That I circled in blue.
This is packaging and TBC.
Packaging. So we don't want to do what? We don't want to mix so many things up. So when you said packaging at first, I started frowning because there is packing and there is what? Packaging.
Packaging. Okay.
Are you following me? So when you now come down to packaging, there's different provisions and instructions for that one. So when you're now telling an examiner packaging 2, there's problem. So now, are you following me? So now let's really take another one last example. Lima November, help me. Give me for 2218 and stop at stop at the packing group, and then we'll pick the remaining from next week.
UN, please confirm UN. Okay, UN 2218.
Yeah.
The UN number is UN 2218. The proper shipping name is acrylic acid stabilized. The class is class 8, which is corrosives.
Thank you.
The subsidiary risk is class 3.
Which is
flammable liquids.
Thank you.
Then the UN packing group is 2, which is medium risk.
Medium danger.
Okay, medium danger.
Medium danger. Yeah, medium danger. Yeah, so thank you. Medium danger. We need to be very we need to understand that itself. So next week we'll be starting from special provisions downwards. And we're going to deal with everyone. Then after that, we'll now start finding out where we are going to be able to find this in the IMDG code itself. Yeah, Dex TOC, I know you joined us late, but I hope you were able to catch as much. But of course, you see the video. But please, let's try and just practice this one that we know. Try and get it down. It's not packaging, it's packing. It's not just the number, it's the UN number. If we have one subsidiary risks on top, another one under, we should know that those ones are two different, they are entirely different the risk is not something point something. The month of November reciprocal. Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's good. We'll continue from this one next week. Well, I'm glad that you guys really caught this one as well. But the most important, and I don't want to call it a complicated one, but trust me, it will be simplified when you start looking at it, is when you now start going into the IMDG code to try and like packing group 2, what does this say, and which page are you going to be able to find it itself, and what does it mean, and especially limited and accepted quantities. But like I said, we will get there. So guys, yeah, it's been a lovely time as well, and I hope to see you next week so that we'll just continue as well. But thanks for coming. Thanks, Lima November, Reciprocal, Dexios. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So please, I have one question.
Yeah.
A little bit related. It's an oral question. He said, please, I want to read it out.
Yeah.
On supply ship loading a dangerous cargo, dangerous goods container from rig, which leaks on deck and injures one crewman and is now on fire. So what action will you take as a master?
So let's break it down. So you have dangerous goods on board. It's leaking.
Yes.
And it injured a crewman, and then there is fire, and then there's fire on board.
And you're alongside a rig, a supply vessel alongside a rig.
Yeah, alongside a rig. So the first thing that you need to, that's a very, in short, that examiner, God help him, but that's a very complicated stuff. But the first thing that you really want to do is taking out initial steps. Are you following me? Taking out initial steps, just like we discussed during our emergency contingency classes, in initial and immediate actions. That's what you want to do. And the initial and immediate actions will be what is really needed at that time. So me, my own personal stuff that I will really love to do when it's alongside is, first of all, your alarm. You need to raise that alarm if it's not yet raised. Muster crew and personnel as well. So now I'm dealing with it as an emergency, because there are 3 things I'm looking at here. Dealing with it as an emergency. Then 2, when you've mustered the crew and the personnel, still on initial actions, you now need to look at your environment itself. Like you said, there's fire. You're alongside the rig. You don't want to continue being alongside the rig itself. You now want to separate, because not only for your own safety, but also for the safety of the rig. So initiate the alarm. Muster as a muster of crew personnel, immediately maneuver away from other immediate danger. So maneuvering away from immediate danger, or maneuvering away from the rig itself. I know that there's the IMDG one coming into place as well. Then let your firefighting team follow the IMDG procedure for fighting this DG fire. Now let also your medical team follow the IMDG procedure. When I mean IMDG procedure, it will be found in the supplement of whatever DG goods that has caused this as well. But mind you, I just trying to skip some other steps, such as notification and changing of blah blah blah. But these are first 4 initial actions. So the first 4 initial action is 1, raise the alarm. 2, pull away from immediate danger. 3, muster all the crew. As they are doing that, mustering all the crews and personnel and be ready to fight the fire as per the EMS guide of the product. And also, you immediately initiate medical attendance to the injured personnel if the personnel was injured out of the IMDG, in accordance with the EMS guide of it. Then also, you are now sending out your pam-pam. Like I said, you've initiated alarm, but you've not spoken about messaging your pam-pam. You've sent your pam-pam out, your distress message, inform people right there in the vicinity. Then you start taking logs, then looking at the weather, what side of the weather is it, then we have to maneuver ourselves in order so that the windward position will be able to favor us, and it blows us not the accommodation but blows it quite away. Then after doing all this immediate action, then we'll now come down to investigation action as well. And that's when we start looking at, okay, where is this fire? Is it just the fire? Are we also looking at the DG goods that is leaking out into the sea? Remember, when it's leaking out into the sea, then we need to be talking about a proper pollution, but the pollution can only be in accordance with the supplements. We still need to be going back and referencing the supplement part of that IMDG as well. In the whole stuff, when we'll be able to control it, then we need to now come back. And when we are doing our reporting procedures, if you remember that our class, we came down to reporting procedure, we need to also follow reporting procedures as set out in the EMS of it. So it's all intertwined in us dealing with fire, then in us now dealing with a DG incident. And at the end of this, my slide, which will be towards the last, I have my last emergency is DG incident. And that's what we'll be talking about, just this particular kind of scenario, what we'll be talking about on how to handle it. But the first thing that you need to first know when you are dealing with emergency is for what's the initial step, and there is no other initial step that you should take in dealing with an emergency apart from, that should supersede raising alarm. Like I said, raising alarm, you muster cruise, then you maneuver away from immediate danger. You raise your raise your pam pam or your distress as well. Check for other injured or missing personnel. Then you start to quickly investigate. You carry out investigation of who is armed, the fire. Where are we looking at the size of the fire, the type of the fire, and the location of the fire. And if it's a DG fire, then we need to also look at the EMS on how to fight the fire. Looking at the injured personnel because of leak of cargo, what are we going to do? We look at we need to get the knowledge from the EMS to be able to know what emergency procedures to put in place. For leakage as well, the IMDG code, the supplements will have given us procedures for leakage, and that's why we need to have taken those into account even before in the MSDS sheet of the cargo. We are taking all these things into account in case of all those emergencies as well. Then we are closing all the watertight doors. We are doing initial notification to to companies and all whatnot. And then from that, then we start with follow-up action. Do we want to continue boundary cooling as well? Have we been able to control the leak on board the vessel? Have we been able to work with national organizations, like for instance, if it's the MCA and the thing is really leaking into the water, Coast Guard will want to come into place, the MASA is supposed to come into place, Ghana Maritime Authority, if there's Ghana, they'll come into place and liaise with you or coordinate with you on those leakages too as well. But yeah, these are the things immediately I'll be thinking of. If you want Lima November, I can also I'll just send you the answers of my DG incidents when I was preparing for my orals, and all these are insights, so you will just see them step by step as well. But I hope you've been able to just catch what I'm trying to point out from the initial actions.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Because I was thinking there would be a priority, like I was thinking towards that direction, like priority of attending to which one to attend to first. Is it the crewman? Because live, is it the fire? Is it pulling out of the 500-meter zone of the rig? So I was like, would there be priority in addressing the emergency?
Yeah, but like I said, yeah, that's a very good side, but you don't have to be confused about it as well. The only thing here that is kind of a little separate is because it's an IMDG situation, and the only different scenario or anything that is different here is you now consulting your IMDG sheet. But we cannot go and consult IMDG sheet as the initial. There is still fire burning, so you're going to treat it as a real emergency situation, and we need to carry out those immediate actions as well. And like I said, because it's immediate action does not mean we first wait for 10 minutes for this to be done, while this to be done. And I'm glad you're going for, chief mate. So as a chief officer, you're a manager, and you should be able to be allocating work duties, and especially as a chief officer, also you'll be thinking like the master as well. So as the master it's not like the master will be the one that will initiate this and then I will go down there to muster crew and personnel and do this. But no, allocation of duties, especially if we are coming from a master or chief officer's point of view. So the first thing, like I said, I'll do, that alarm must be raised. The alarm must be raised. I'll maneuver, alarm must be raised, then I'll muster crew and personnel and all the passengers and personnel down to the muster station, check for injured crew or personnel, then I'll be maneuvering away from the immediate danger while my chief officer is doing then for the medical situation that we have in here, like I said, my medical team, as per the EMS of the goods, of the dangerous goods that I'm dealing with, when we deal with any other, that's another tricky one. The guy might look like, oh, you've seen only one casualty. Is that where your eye is just going to be? But any other casualty that that might have been armed during the DG leak as well. Then before we now start going into our own investigation of what type of fire is this, what's the DG incident, is the leakages, then how can we now start to start containing it as well. So it's still kind of it's still more of the emergency itself, but the only thing that embedded, they now want to really know that are you going to be following procedures as per the EMS of the vessel. So I will not want you to get confused. The only thing I really want you to know that is different also for this scenario, which is major, is you are alongside the rig. You cannot be fighting fire and stay on that rig when you can be mobile. You understand? You are only not going to now put you and your crew into danger. You're only going to even cause a more explosion down there. Because trust me, whether I believe it or not, the rig even has much more hazard even than your vessel. So it just causes more explosion. So what we should be looking at, and that's one of the things about the emergencies, maneuvering away from dangers, you're maneuvering away from shores, you're maneuvering away from yourself. You might just be putting yourself, in more. So that's the important one there, is the maneuvering away from that rig. But as you're maneuvering away from the rig, you're sounding the general emergency, you are issuing pam, you are already mustering, and you check for missing or injured personnel. The injured personnel, you treat them as per the EMS guide of the DG list. Leakages, when you have investigated their leakages, you consult this and you go ahead with it. Also, what are the reporting procedures, and then all those things as well. But you must be aware, you must have maneuvered, you must have looked at the wind, how the wind is coming, and be able to maneuver your vessel in a way that will be more favorable when you are fighting the fire as well. But yeah, like I said, I will spin that DG notes to you, and you can just pinpoint, some steps and add some steps also to it as well. You understand that?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Does anybody have any